If you're travelling to Bali and looking to surf some long and mellow lefts, then head to the island's northwest, where you'll find the fun and consistent point break of Medewi. Medewi is about 3 hours drive from Bali's international airport, and on its day probably offers up the longest left on the island. You can surf this wave on any tide, but it's best at mid to high when all of the sections tend to link up. Medewi is surfable year-round, but mornings are usually cleaner as the trade winds in both the dry and wet seasons blow on shore. Surfers usually enter at the top of the point, but you can also enter at the bottom if you want a longer but safer paddle out. To enter at the top of the point, walk along the beach and paddle out through the channel. This will be easier at high tide and puts you straight into the lineup. The best place to exit is at the very bottom of the point, after catching your last wave of the session. Medewi needs at least 3 foot of swell to get going, and you're probably going to struggle on a shortboard in anything smaller than that. On the other hand, really large swells can max out the point, creating big fat walls, and also a really strong current to deal with. The inside here can get very shallow, and especially on smaller waves or on the low tide. Medewi is a really crowded wave these days, so if you want any chance of scoring it to yourself, you'll need to get up at first light. Most of the rocks here have barnacles all over them, so if you want to avoid slicing your feet up, it's best to wear some foot protection. Other waves in the area include a fun beach break a few hundred meters west of the end of the point. When we were there, the mornings were often clean, and the best banks were in front of the Holy Tree Cafe. There's also a right-hand break to the east of the top of the point on the other side of the river mouth. I don't know too much about this wave, but it seems pretty popular with the regular foots. There's a few other waves dotted along the nearby coastline, and the famous river mouth of Balian is about half an hour south. If you'd like to stay right next to the wave, then Bombora and Medewi are your best options, costing around $100 US a night. But if you're looking for something cheaper, there's plenty more accommodation in the area. We stayed in a really nice place called Deep Blue Villa, which cost around $25 US a night. There are tons of restaurants in Medewi these days providing local and Western food. Most of it is reasonably priced, and if like us you're into bakso, then definitely check out Bakso Super Andara, where you can get a decent meal for around $1.50. There's not a whole lot to do if the waves are flat, but there's some nice waterfalls in the area, along with some really picturesque Hindu villages in the nearby mountains. There's even a sacred tree you can drive through, and if you're looking for some downtime, then all of the beaches around here are really quiet. Thanks for watching the video, and if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you.